G'day guys, it is Ben here from Hunt the Night. Sorry about the YouTube spam, but got some stuff to get through, eh? You'll tell me you love my videos, so can't be unhappy getting too many of them. All right, I've just been out playing with the CL42. Now, it's pretty ordinary conditions where I am today. It's drizzly, it is hazy, it is cold. Thermal conditions are shocking for, playing around with targets. So I've actually had to use a hot hands today, which I don't normally like to do because it creates a fair bit of bloom and my groups may not be as tight because I can't, get on the target as normally as I would. Typically, and you've seen in my other videos, I use foil. Now, I'm going to have to talk you through this and you're going to have to take some of my word for it, I guess, because it's really hard to film what I've experienced because it's a clip-on and I'd have to film it through the eyepiece of my scope, but I'm using my scope, to shoot. So, I'm going to talk you through it and what I did. Firstly, I had my bow, I sighted it in and, beautiful. Then I put this on. Now, I know the manufacturers say it's clip on and go, and I guess it is. You can clip on and shoot, but if you don't want to be on target, you're going to want to zero it. Now, when I say off target, I was shooting at 50 meters and I was 1 inch off, exactly 1 inch off to the left. Are you going to notice that? At 100 meters, it's going to be 2 inches. On bigger game, you aren't going to notice it. On smaller game like a fox, yeah, maybe it's a miss, but if you're mucking around and I got a phone call, so I'm going to resume this one. Hang on. All right, I'm back, and that was about 10 phone calls later. Fair income. Put my phone into airplane mode, but please don't feel discouraged for calling me. I love talking to you all, especially when you place orders. It's great. Anyway, back to this. Now, that miss, being an inch off or 2 inches off at 100 type thing, if you're shooting a fox and you're shooting it not from a prone position, from a tripod, there's a lot of variables anyway. So, is having this on, dead set point of impact really going to be the biggest influence in all of that? I don't know. For me, I tend to miss anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Bigger game, you aren't going to miss, okay? Especially if you're shooting, I shoot a lot of sand, but 0 to 50 meters, I wouldn't notice it being off an inch or two. So, it is clip on and go to a certain degree. But as a shooter, you've got a responsibility to actually make sure what you're shooting and how you're shooting is accurate anyway. So just like if you put a new glass scope on, take it to the range and zero it. Take this to the range and test it because you don't want your projectile going somewhere you don't know where it is anyway. Now, what I did find is it's really simple to zero. What you do is you hold the M and the C button down and it comes up with a little menu. Now, this one moves it one way and that one moves the image that way. And basically you move the image around until your reticle is over where the point of impact was. Simple as that. Then I was able to take it off, I was able to put it back on, and I was dead on. Now, I don't normally like to use, hand warmers, but I had to today because the conditions were really bad. But I had, I had holes within holes. So I was pretty happy with that. It's good. And I'll test it more. There's only a certain amount I want to get wet for you guys while I'm testing stuff. And as the conditions are better, I'll test it more. Now, in regards to using this as a clip-on, the question is, what is your kind of maximum base magnification before this starts to get, kind of unusable? Because don't forget, when you clip this on and put it in position, right? And when you magnify, this scope here is zooming in on the computer screen that sits here. Okay, there's a little lens system in between this, but it's zooming in on the computer system. Well, I guess it's zooming in on the lens. So the higher the base magnification of this, the tighter your field of view is. But because this one here sits at a base magnification of 1, what you see here is going to be representative to kind of what you see there in your base magnification anyway. So I can't really answer that question. I would say, though, that once you start getting up above about 6 magnification, and I tested this, it starts to get pretty pixelated. So you're probably that 4 I really enjoyed. 6 was okay. Beyond that, you can do it, but it doesn't look real good. So, you know, I reckon 4 is kind of that sweet spot. So, yeah, look, I'm going to play around with this more and more and test it, and I'm going to test it on different rifles. I just had it on my 223 today, but I got to say, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. You know, I'm pretty happy that this one, not being a shim system, I can just take on and off, and it held 0. It'll be interesting tomorrow, you know, as the weather clears up and I put it back on my 223, how it runs. But at the moment, guys, this is this is a pretty good alternative to a thermal scope if you're looking to retain your, you know, your day optics. And it's not just that. Maybe you've got a rifle you can't get a Picatinny rail for. There's a lot of them out there that you know, you put the dovetails on, and you put a Picatinny rail adapter rail on top of the dovetails, and now you need a cheek riser and everything else. You know, this does solve that problem. Yeah, I reckon it's pretty decent. Image quality is really, really good. Not as good as a dedicated scope, but yeah, really, really good. The other thing about that, guys, just on image quality, it doesn't matter the quality of image of your glass scope, okay? It doesn't matter how good this one is. You can have a very cheap and nasty glass scope, and it's going to look the same as if you have a very, very high-end glass scope, because all it's doing is zooming in on that computer screen now. You know, it's not letting light in. It's not doing all the things that the scope's designed to do. Yeah. Anyway, guys, any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm going to do more on this. We're going to call this the clip-on series, because there's more to learn, and there's more to test, and there's more to play around with. Hope you're enjoying the series so far. And yeah, anything else you want to know about these, drop it in there, because I'll be doing more videos. Bye for now.